Hello, parents. Today, I want to share with you a presentation that I have created. This was saved as a PDF, so the title is a little wonky, but it is supposed to be titled Multicultural Montessori, presented by Sharita Sarju Singh. So this is a conference that I have done over several years. This gives very clear and strategic information as to how you would implement multicultural Montessori within a classroom or childcare or home environment. So I'm just going to briefly go through this presentation as just a general run through for parents to get a little bit more in person as well as a virtual educator for toddlers to tech. You can contact me via toddlerstotech@gmail.com, and please feel free to visit my website at toddlerstotech.com. That is TODDLERS, the number 2, TECH.com. All right, let's move forward. So, why is multicultural education important? Why is multicultural Montessori important? Why is utilizing Montessori or multicultural education to your advantage in the home and in the childcare setting a good thing? Well, let's discuss. Students in our nation's classrooms today are more diverse than ever. They represent different races, ethnicities, cultures, and socioeconomic backgrounds, and they speak many different languages. Further, these students often exhibit a wide range of academic, physical, and social abilities or skills. So multicultural education is ensuring that children feel connected in all of the facets of their identity, not just the language that they speak, not just the food that they eat, not just the music that they listen to, not just the clothing that they wear, not just their ability to function in a classroom or not. There are many different abilities. We have students with learning disabilities or delays. We have students with physical disabilities or delays. We have students who need additional one-on-one support. We have students that need the care and attention of one-to-one support, even in a large group setting. There are children who have specific behaviors, different personality traits, different areas of their character or temperament, which are directly connected and indicative of their culture. So as educators, if we are unaware of what our students are bringing to the classroom, and we reject who they are fully by asking them to leave a portion of who they are at the door, we are not doing our students justice or service in the name of addressing the components of the whole child. One of the areas that we need to really consider are teacher perceptions. So, why would we consider teacher perceptions? And why would that be something that is considered important? Well, teacher perceptions, the thoughts or mental images teachers have about their students, are shaped by their background, knowledge, and life experiences. These experiences might involve their family history or tradition, education, work, culture, or community. All of these and more can he or she views others. How does your personal lens influence your perceptions? So as a parent, or as an educator, or as an administrator, how does your personal lens influence your perceptions? It's a very important question to ask. You want to make sure as an educator, you are walking into an environment and you are leaving your biases at the door. You want to make sure that as a parent, that you are open to the ability of your child to have diverse experiences with diverse educators and a diverse array of students in their classroom setting, as well as being a part of a diverse parent community. It is very important that we understand who we are as people and what our perceptions are and how that can limit our ability to bring the best to our home, to our educational program, and to each other. All right. So a common misconception can be that educators believe that they do not meet the demographic population that they need to provide these multicultural experiences for. But this is not true. At times, educators may believe, I don't teach in a big city, so my students will not be diverse. Or, schools in suburban and rural areas, too, are enrolling greater numbers of diverse students. But some teachers may not see that reflected. Even in a classroom of students with apparently similar European American backgrounds, teachers will find that their students have highly diverse roots, traditions, and customs that trace back to England, Italy, France, Germany, Austria, Denmark, or Holland. So it's important to remember that there are many different kinds of people all over the world. Additionally, students come from backgrounds that include a wide range of family situations, such as two-parent or adoptive, divorced, or single-parent households, same-sex parent households, homes headed by grandparents or other relatives. Okay, there are also children in our foster care system, okay, who do not have their parents with them and are being taken care of by others through the foster care system and the social services network. So I believe that multicultural education is an imperative practice. And the reason that I personally feel that it is an imperative practice is because I have had many students from many different cultures, many different language speaking abilities, many different backgrounds and traditions, and they have had such a wide array of experience based off of who they are before they come to my classroom. Multicultural education helps me to meet my students where they are, ensuring that my students can see themselves in the books in my classroom, that they can hear their native language in the music that I play, that we can talk about who they are, that we can celebrate what they have brought to school to eat for lunch that day, that we can talk about the beautiful clothing that they are wearing, that we can talk about the celebrations that they may have had that others may not celebrate. It is important for our students to understand how similar we all are based off of the diverse components of our families and our personal upbringings. There are so many similarities that we could call differences, and there are so many differences that we can call similarities. Many more students are increasing their presence within the classroom who are of very cultural traditions, belief systems, languages, and abilities. These students are to be accepted and respected as every other student within the classroom. So there is no excuse. All of our students will be treated equally, regardless of where they come from, what they know, what their language speaking ability is, what their physical ability is, or what their race, culture, or traditions entail. So the purpose of this presentation is to give educators, adult learners, and parents tips and suggestions on how multicultural education can be added to your life, added to the lives of your children, added to your prepared environment as an educator, added to your center or your school or your library. It is important to understand that all of our students need to not just see themselves, but also their peers. Not just see their peers, but also their neighbors. Not just see their neighbors, but also see the community helpers in their immediate environment, reflected in what they see in their classroom space and in their home space. So the purpose of Multicultural Montessori has been created to offer a platform to educators, students, and parents as to encourage the appreciation of diversity, inclusion, and Montessori initiatives. This program is designed to encourage the maintenance of honest practices of multicultural awareness, peace, kindness, generosity, and acceptance of all the children and citizens of the world. Human decency is modeled, instinctual, and deeply ingrained within the heart. Human love, connection, and understanding are sought out, shared, and embraced with multicultural education, and embedded within the consciousness of education, although not necessarily displayed. So, are you an educator who uses multicultural education to your advantage? Are you a librarian that ensures that you have a multicultural variety of books and reading materials for students of all backgrounds? Do you, as an early childhood educator, ensure that your students are receiving experience with cultural objects and cultural books? Are you, as a primary or preschool teacher, opening the door to your students sharing who they are and who their families are? Are you, as an early elementary or latter elementary teacher, able to consciously draw out the traditions and the cultures and the belief systems and the values of your students by asking them who they are and what they want and where they come from and what they've done and what they celebrate and who they love? Have you, as a middle school educator, created opportunities for your students to take place in diversity, equity, and inclusion speaking events and debates, as well as covering world news? Do you have it embedded in your curriculum as a high school educator for social justice and equity, diversity, inclusion, and education for our students in terms of self-love, self-decency, and self-improvement? Do you, as an adult educator, ensure that the content that you are teaching your adult learners is culturally responsive and respectful? Have you viewed your curriculum? Do you ensure to include many and not just a few? Do you step outside of the box and enhance your curriculum each year, or do you do the same thing over and over again? As a parent, what other cultures do you expose your children to? Do you visit festivals? The Greek Food Festival of DC? Do you visit spaces where your cultural background can be celebrated? Latin festivals, Native American festivals, Caribbean festivals. There are so many opportunities to have your child take part in your personal culture as well as the cultures of others. Be sure to include books with many different cultures in your home. Be sure when you travel to collect artifacts that your students can use to identify that particular experience and that particular traveling to that particular location. Make sure that you expose your students to different languages. Listen to some children's music in French, or listen to children's music in Haitian. Listen to children's music in an Ecuadorian dialect. Listen to children's music in a Caribbean style. Listen to children's music with a country tune. Listen to children's music with a classical twist. There are so many different ways that we can enhance our students and our children's experiences, as well as our own, as adults and educators and parents who live in a very diverse society. I hope this short snippet of this presentation was interesting for you. This presentation is very long, so I just went over a few very basic slides to understand the purpose of the work that I do with multicultural education and how that relates to Montessori. I hope that you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you from Miss Sharita and Toddlers to Tech. Visit us at toddlerstotech.com. Bye.